Hey guys, I had no intentions of doing this today, but there's just so much going on. I have a feeling between now and the elections, we're going to be on here quite a bit. So as you can see, I've been running around. I didn't have makeup on or nothing. But anyway, this is Barbie with Two Friends and a Bible, and I am going to just give you the updates that I have today. Did hear some more information on the situation in Ukraine, which were how they were able to move back Russia. Wasn't quite what we thought it was. The rumor is that there are English speaking people fighting with the Ukraines. We don't know if it's the UK, if it's US or NATO. But rumors saying probably all three. A lot of maybe military people that have already resigned. I think they're going to Ukraine to help, and Zelensky pays them with the money, I guess, that he gets from us. So anyway, that's just kind of a rumor, but I think it's probably true. And Zelensky is claiming in the last few days that Russia released 6,000 square kilometers of land that Russia had occupied. What's happened is NATO's generals developed a plan for Ukraine to help push Russia back. And Ukraine did not actually push them back per se. Russia left on their own accord to prevent military deaths. So I guess we were thinking that perhaps Ukraine was doing a little better, but not so sure now. I'm thinking maybe not. I think they had some help with that. Okay, and on yesterday, I talked about the German chancellor stating on August 29th that there was something big coming September 23rd, and that we would not forget where we were and what we were doing when it happened, kind of like 9/11. Now he's now saying he demands to lead the new, greatly expanded and militarized European Union. He claims that the Russia-Ukraine operation, or more so on Russia, raises the questions as to where the divided line will be in the future with the free Europe and a neo-emperor autocracy. Sorry. He states that we cannot sit by and watch free countries being wiped off the map like Russia is trying to do with Ukraine and disappear behind walls and iron curtains. That's German Chancellor. I didn't catch his name, but I can't think of what it is right now, and I didn't catch it, but I do know he is a very, very powerful politician, and he is actually demanding that he runs the European Union and that it's going to advance in size. Germany loves number 44, and honestly, this sounds a lot like what the Antichrist is going to do, come in and try to take over. Not saying that's who he is, but coming and trying to take over and wanting to advance the EU and wanting to take over and run it. He's saying he demands it. So curious to see what he's planning on doing September 23rd, if anything. So I just wanted to kind of give y'all an update on that and just kind of keep your ears and eyes open on September 23rd. And honestly, guys, everything we're seeing going on, the droughts, the floods, the tsunamis, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, all the wars, the rumors of wars, the pestilence, the famines, all these things is exactly what Jesus said was going to happen in the end times. So I know a lot of people might think that we're crazy to keep putting rapture information out there. But to be honest with you, I'd rather you think we're crazy and understand what's going on. And if you are left behind, we pray that you remember all the signs we gave you so you'll know what to do. And that's for those who would be left behind. Many, many, many people are believing that this fall is going to be the rapture. And it's based on the 70 weeks prophecy. It's based on, we have a new Shemitah cycle starting this year. September 26th, which is the same day that Rosh Hashanah starts. And Shemitah is a 7-year cycle. And we are in the 7th year of that Shemitah cycle now. It is a Jewish custom. However, the end times, the tribulation is primarily for the Jews because, they rejected Christ at the cross. And so originally when Jesus came, it was for the Jews. And then it went to the Gentiles, and the Jews, a lot of them, many of them rejected them. And they were God's chosen people, and he had the Abrahamic covenant with him. So he basically stopped the time clock, until the Jews could get it back. And he's, giving them more time. That's why we're still here. He was giving them more times because, God doesn't want anyone to perish. So, but yeah, I mean, it might sound crazy that we keep reporting on it, and it might be sounding kind of like doom and gloom. All she talks about is wars and pestilence and famines. But, honestly, the end times is not doom and gloom. It's actually, if you're a Christian, it's pretty darn cool, especially if we're going to be in the time that this does end up happening. And if you watched our Revelation 101 summary that we just put up the other day, we talk about the fig tree generation and how we are the fig tree generation, or Israel is, and that we are the generation that Jesus speaks about in Matthew 24. So, but based off of that being a new Shemitah cycle, so there'll be 7 more years in that Shemitah cycle. And the 7th year of a Shemitah cycle, which is what I say we're in, but they're in right now, is normally, it's always been kind of like a prediction. The 7th year is how the next 7 years are going to be. So I hope it is the rapture. I'd hate to think we got 7 more years of this, but yeah, even if we do have the rapture, we have 7 more years of this tenfold. So anyway, like I said, we just want, to pray that you guys will know. And the people that are hearing this about the rapture, it's not that God has gone to a prophet and said it's coming. They're basing it on everything I'm talking about, the 70 weeks of Daniel, the Shemitah cycle. We are also going into the 50th Jubilee cycle this coming year. So there's a lot, going on this year. So, and to be honest with you, I'm personally not sure about this fall. I hope it is. But I can't imagine being here after next year. I just can't imagine. I mean, look how much has happened just since the virus came out. I mean, look how crazy everything's gotten just since the virus came out. And it's all prophecy. So I'm just looking up and praying and waiting on Jesus and praying it is this fall, and praying people will pay attention and get to know what's going on. And about a year ago, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos before, but my husband and I were out driving around or whatever, and I'm just looking at the clouds, and I'm like, do you see these clouds? They're beautiful. And they were just, what you would typically expect, the big fat cumulus clouds, and the sky was blue. It was a beautiful day. And I just kept asking him, why am I so obsessed with these clouds? Why am I so obsessed? I said, they're just gorgeous. And shortly after that, I started seeing angels in the clouds, the outline of angels, beautiful angels. And it got to the point I was seeing so much, and the clouds were so gorgeous. I actually went out and bought a camera so I could take pictures. And it was so hot this summer, I didn't get to go out much. So now that it's supposed to be cooling down, well, we had a nice week, but next week's supposed to be hot again here in Georgia. So we'll see what's I'm planning on getting back out there and getting some more pictures. I mean, it's just gorgeous. The sky is just beautiful. And, when I first told my husband about it, he's like, yeah, it's pretty. I don't think he really, really saw it, what I was seeing, but I think he is now. And what's interesting is it's like every time I'm like getting on social media or something to that, like that, I am seeing someone post a picture of the clouds and like what do y'all see? Do y'all see anything in the clouds? Why am I so, why am I looking at the sky so much? Why is it so, what's going on? And, if it is the time for the rapture, God instructs us, he tells us not to focus on the Antichrist and stuff, focus on Jesus coming in the clouds, and make sure that we watch and we wait and make sure we tell people. So it would make sense why we're fascinated with the clouds, right? Okay, so due to the energy crisis in Europe, the Eiffel Tower is now going to start being darkened at 10 p.m. instead of 11 p.m. And this is starting September 23rd. And this is going to be in addition to the other government buildings and as well. They're trying to help with the energy crisis. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I don't know if y'all saw, but the Dow dropped 1,300 points. It's the worst day since June 20th, 2020. Yeah, Wall Street took a huge nosedive. And USA, regardless if anyone's saying it on MSN or anything, we're definitely in a recession. There's just no ands, ifs, or buts. And now they're talking about raising the interest rates to lower the inflation. When number 46 took over, I think we are at 1.9%, and now we're at 8.3. Yeah, and you've got the Dow dropping like that. It's just, yeah. Okay, so Lebanon is also under a financial crisis. Their lira, L-I-R-A, is approaching a historic low. That's their currency. Their currency had a very rapid collapse in the last week. So Lebanon's seeing it as well. China is either in a recession or they're about to go into a recession. And that's going to affect the entire world because you know as well as I do that they have a lot of cargo and whatnot. And you got these trains in America that's fixing to go on strike possibly, and that's like a loss of $2 billion per day if they do. And so, yeah, if we're thinking we're going to have slow cargo already because of what's going on in China, and if you watch Monkey Works US, MONKEYWERX US, he shows he's got the coolest thing. It's kind of like Dutch Sense, except Dutch Sense does earthquakes and stuff, and Monkey Works watches airplanes, military planes and whatnot in the sky, and he has all that cool equipment and stuff, and you can see all the cargo ships. I mean, they're just sitting out in the water. I mean, it's crazy. So we'll find out what's going on. I mean, we'll find out what's going to happen as time goes on. And in China, this is in addition to millions in lockdown due to the virus. And one more thing that's going on in China right now, I think I reported the other day that there was a 7.6 earthquake and how the energy off that earthquake was going to, kind of, I guess, ricochet, come off of that fault line. And it was Dutch Sense who predicted that we would be seeing some earthquakes, tsunamis, things like that in China, Asia, South America, North America. And I'm trying to remember my notes. These are from yesterday. And sure enough, there's which I think this tsunami might have been forming for a little bit longer, but there's one that's getting ready to hit Shanghai, right outside of Shanghai in China. And it's supposed to be pretty big. It's not going to be good. Okay, and then at a recent meeting in NATO, Britain suggested recreating the Roman Empire in response to the Russian threat. Christians, we need to be paying attention to this as much as we do to the German chancellor saying what he did. I mean, is this going to be the Kittim that Daniel talks about in chapter 11, verses 30 through 32? Yeah, it's interesting. So we just need to keep, some eyes on that. And I know week, I believe, we reported about Liz Truss becoming the prime minister, and I talked about how much people liked her and how Israel said she was going to be a friend to Israel, and everyone seemed to be pretty excited, that she was going to be prime minister. But what I didn't know, and I just found out, is she's a WEF, World Economic Forum trained operative. And Charles is also a WEF member. And we know what his beliefs are. I talked about that yesterday. So, and he's very good friends with Charles Schwab. So that's going to be something else to kind of keep. And, when the end times come, they're going to need, Antichrist is going to have like 10 kings that work with him. They're going to be under him. I think we call them his gophers or whatever. They're going to be under him, but they're going to, it just kind of makes you go, all these, prime ministers and countries and stuff falling. Is that making way for the Antichrist to come in and say, oh, I'm going to fix everything, guys. Don't you even worry. We're going to be a one world order and I'm going to take care of it all. Is that going to make a way for the rise of Antichrist? I believe it will. Yeah, I do. I believe it will. It's even happened in the UK. It's just, I believe it's going to happen, So anyway, the globalists, we all know who that is, right? Are trying to create a great reset and take over the world. They have a huge stake. These globalists have a huge stake in the U.S. upcoming midterm elections. And I've told everyone in the past that what happens in America affects the entire world and vice versa, but more so what happens in America attacks the entire world. When you have a weak administration, the children play, things happen, it goes crazy. And that's what's happening right now. And so, I don't know. But they do have a huge stake in what's going to happen in the elections. If the control of Congress moves to the Republicans, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to implement their plan for a worldwide great reset. It's going to be a little harder, but and if they cannot get the U.S. to comply and give up our national sovereignty, the one world government will not happen. So that's why they have to have the U.S. on board for this to happen. So that's why they have such a huge stake in what's going on. And we all know, I think most of us know about the speech that number 46 gave on September 1st, where he had the red and all that in the background and the Marines in the background. It was just really weird. But in that speech, he talked about what could possibly be coming. And he quoted, and as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault. We do ourselves no favor to pretend otherwise. And many, many people are believing this speech was a declaration of war upon governments of the world. The globalists want to take the whole world under their control, and controlling the U.S. is key to their plan, regardless of what party is in charge. The Bible does prophesy that the totalitarian regime we are talking about does take power, and it is something that we will not be able to stop. It's called Great Babylon. And this is the time that God has put in place in his plans for the end times. This is something that he put in place. And so, we really cannot put our trust in the politics. We must put our trust in Jesus Christ only. Okay. And our channel, we just wanted to alert you to what is likely to happen in the next 60 days so that everyone can be prepared. And it's a strong possibility that something big, like a disease or an attack, maybe a civil disorder causing martial law, is going to happen prior to these elections in order for the globalists to maintain power in Congress. Okay, so, and if these things happen, it's going to lead to mail-in voting. or maybe the delaying of the elections for a little while, if not entirely. There's and there's a lot ramping up right now with the FBI raids and all of that, not just in number 45. Now there's other like 35, 40 other people that were associated that are being raided as well too. So, and it's right here before the elections and you see all this other stuff going on. So just pay attention. And in addition to that speech that number 46 gave, he stated in his speech that number 45 and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundation of the republic. MAGA would stop the globalist ideas, okay? And so, yeah, they would stop the globalist ideas. And if that was ever a speech, and if you didn't listen to the whole thing, I would go in and listen to it. But if that was ever a speech intended to divide this country, that was it. That was it. And number 46 also said, I believe it's my duty to level with you to tell you the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. So are we being prepared for something? What did I just say? Probably what happened most likely before the elections. And throughout his speech, he continued defaming MAGA people. And he said that they don't respect the Constitution, but that is indeed what they respect. And even if these people that went into the Capitol on January 6th were indeed true MAGA people, and truly did, go in the Capitol like they're saying, I haven't listened or read any documents or nothing, so I can't say yay or nay that it was true or false. Then if that was some MAGA people, okay, we had some bad ones. They shouldn't have done that. But so does the other side. I mean, they've all got, things happen. Just, a few people cannot possibly represent the entire party. And MAGA Republicans are very constitutional, very constitutional. So, and to be honest, our channel, we do not get involved as far as in politics like this, except to report. I'm just telling you what was said, what was done. Okay, so I just want y'all to know that. But I don't believe it's true that MAGA Republicans are not constitutional. I really don't. I think that they are constitutional. Sorry, my phone. Okay, so again, we could be wrong, but we really are believing something big is coming in the next few weeks or so. So just keep your eyes and ears open. And, do you have enough food in your house? Have you been putting food for an emergency up to 2 months or so away? Do you have enough water, flashlights, batteries? What about some spare Bibles? If things like we're thinking could happen, people are going to want to know what is going on, and so Bibles would be a good thing to have a supply of, and you can get them for like $3 or $4 on Amazon. You don't have to get the big fancy leather bound ones, just something to share with people. Our ministry actually has bought, oh gosh, was it like 50 of them or something? And when we go up to, how you drive up on the off ramps or whatever, and someone's standing there, I'll work for food, whatever. We'll put some, like $5 or something inside of a Bible, of one of these like $3 Bibles, and that's what we give them. And we put, you put it inside, and so the only way they're going to get their money is if they open that Bible. And what they do with the Bible afterwards is up to them. It's between them and God. We do what God tells us to do. And so, but it's a good thing to have, because people are going to be really, really wanting to know what's going on. So that would be a great thing to have. And if you have any extras of anything, if you overstock and nothing happens, you can still share with your neighbor while giving them the Word of God and giving them a Bible. Just thoughts. And all these things that's going on, the droughts, the wars, all these things, it's, God allows it to happen because he's wanting to wake up the unbelievers. And he wants to wake up the cold Christians too, and the lukewarm. He don't want you cold. He don't want you there. He wants you hot. He don't want you walking away. He wants you coming back to him. So these things are there to wake up people. It's not because he's a bad God. He's trying to show you something's wrong. Something's different in this world. This is it's just different. You have to feel it, and the atmosphere. I mean, just things are really weird. So anyway, mainly he's just trying to get unbelievers and walk away Christians out of their comfort zones and to wake up and get back on track. Okay, so that's why these things happen. And and it's always possible nothing's going to happen. And if it doesn't, it will happen. It will happen the next time around. Promise. If it doesn't happen this time, it will definitely happen the next time around. I mean, look what else happened since the virus started. It's been crazy. So anyway, I'm finishing up here, guys, and I just want to tell Christians, prepare yourself and do as Jesus says. Love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. And make sure to tell your friends and family about what's going on. Okay. And if you don't know Jesus, please, please, please know him. Get to know him. Contact us. Find a friend. Go to a church. Talk to a preacher. Call one of those 1-800 numbers for, some of these churches that are online. Ask a friend. Whatever you got to do. Time is getting shorter and shorter by the day, guys. It's getting shorter. Okay, it totally is. And I am going to leave in the description box our information, how to find us on email, how to find us on Rumble, how to find us on Facebook. And I'm also going to put a link to a Left Behind letter that you can use for your friends and family. And you are welcome to print as many copies as you would like. It is PDF format, so you are welcome to print as many copies as you want. I'm also putting a link up for a rapture kit. And it's not something we put together. No, we did put the Left Behind letter together, but it's the rapture kit we did not put together. It's another company, and it takes you to their website when you click on. Got a lot of good information on how to prepare for the rapture and things to leave your friends and family for after the rapture, so they'll have it. So lots and lots of stuff on there, and I'm going to leave it in the link. Okay, guys? I hope you have a great day. I hope I kept this short enough. There's a lot more to tell you about. I'll probably be back on Friday and give you some more updates, okay? And tomorrow we will have our John series uploaded. Y'all have a great one. Thank you so much. Love y'all.